right, here we are going on live on YouTube, and I gotta turn my camera on still. I just flew in the door. I hope everybody is doing well. Happy Saturday. Sure that this gets to be muted, and here we go. All right. I hope everything's like tickety-boo for everybody, because it's been a pretty busy morning for me already. I'm still trying. I literally did. Here I am. All right, now you can hear me. So I literally did just fly in the room and start pushing buttons. Just now getting my little board set up. Usually I'm a little bit better organized than this. Thanks for stopping by. It's been a crazy, crazy morning. It's been a wackadoodle week. And I actually got something first thing this morning, and it kind of segues a little bit off of what Stone and I talked about last night on Oracle Stones. But yep, August 30th, that's today, 7:40 a.m. So we did talk a little bit about, discernment and making sure that we're going to be able to be on point with what's going on. And like, hi, I'll take a second and just kind of put this out there, but I'm just going to give a little wave over here. Hang on. I'm like I said, I'm a little discombobulated this morning, but this is what I got earlier in the morning, and sleep has been a little bit evasive at this point. Kind of working with my doc, figuring out what's going on. Like I said, I mentioned the other night, a bit of a health scare for me, but let's see what I actually got a little bit of a word about, and that's about help, making sure that we're asking for help. So most people at some point in the time in their life will probably ask someone else for help. This is kind of a little bit of a twist on this. It's not about not wanting to ask help even though you need help. This is not what this is about. Well, okay, so at least you'll ask for help from someone or something outside of themselves. So it might be prayer or a friend or a neighbor or whatever you got going on. Even the dog, right? So there's a couple of things that when we were talking about may be an issue or concern, that when we're going through something and we're trying to work out a good solution for whatever dilemma or challenge that we're experiencing, we oftentimes will be saying what's going on, and we're not really looking for answers from someone else. We're just saying, hey, this is what's going on. I need to figure this out. And all right, so let me just keep reading. This may be kind of a small download, as it were, because I'm experienced this so many times myself, that when I have an issue or a concern or a challenge, and we have a desire to find a solution, and we have this inner knowing that it's a problem that we can facilitate the solution to, and oftentimes using others as a sounding board will allow us to work out an answer to our own challenge. So what's actually happening a lot of times when we are using someone or think we're using someone as a sounding board, we're just putting this out there. So, we're putting it out. They come back. This is like a brain thing, right? And it's going to go back into our head. A lot of times we can come up with our own answers, but we need to be able to have somebody else with that, hearing that. For me personally, it's when people, okay. So we use them as a sounding board. So this is becoming pervasive, that when we have that person receiving what we're telling them without even asking them for advice or their opinion or however it comes off. For me personally, that when people do that to me, they're giving their opinion when really I'm just making a statement. It's like I want to tell them what's going on, but they get offended because I say, hey, I'm not looking for a solution. I'm just letting you know what's going on so that you're kind of aware of what's going on in my space. And they can get offended because maybe I need to start offending more people, because when I start to tell someone, look, I got this. I just need you as a sounding board. I need this information that's put out there to keep me safe and stable in a position that I can hear and affirm within myself that, yeah, I'm doing the right thing. I'm on the right path. And giving an effort, I'm looking for someone's opinion. I'm going to ask. I'm not looking for an opinion. I give that piece of information and put it out there and let it sit. And sometimes we can just let it sit and it'll ferment, right? So like when you got something like kimchi or something, it's going to get better. It's going to get more nutritious. It's going to have more value to it when we just let it sit out there. I guess the point is that when we describe a situation to someone, and we need to be very, very clear that we come out and see and say that I'm telling you this because I wanted you to know. And saying, I'm not looking for an opinion. I'm not looking for somebody else's solution. I need to figure this out on my own. And a lot of times people still want, they will still give you a rebuttal. They'll tell you their opinion, and I really don't give a crap. I'm not asking whether you know or whether you don't know. What I'm telling you is my situation. So I'm going to basically say, put this out there. If you've got stuff going on and this is something that's you're going through, be kind to yourself. Let that person off the hook. If they get offended, they get offended. If not, just kind of move on. My phone is like doing a ringing thing, and I don't know what the ringing thing is. So I don't know who that is, so they can just wait. So we don't have to say anything when someone offers us information and we're not necessarily there for a solution. We can give a good example is when I do my work and someone is telling me about a situation that they are in. I don't tell them a solution. I ask them, what do you want? What do you want to get out of this? Do you want to get anything out? Are you just making a statement? So being very clear, and I think with all the stuff that's going on right now, we need to be very clear with each other. And it might feel like, oh, niddly, piddly, picky. It's like, yeah, we kind of need to be that way to make sure that we're going to not, take things too far one way or the other. But that I just kind of offer myself to my people that I'm here for support, whatever they want. It's not about me. It's about them. It's about not what I see, because what I see is something completely different. And I can sit there and say whatever you're saying is not going to work, and to try and help you out, that's not going to be helpful. People need to go through their own, we all need to go through on our own processes. So if somebody says something to you, I'm here to support you if you need anything. Just be safe. And I know that, even saying that sometimes can be a little off-putting, but we can talk through situations. And I guess the point is that when someone brings a problem to me, I let them talk it out, and I'm not there to provide anybody any solutions. I will ask throughout the conversations if I'm going to affirm what they're saying and it makes sense. What do you think? It's something called reflective listening. Look it up. And you reflect back statements. You can summarize them into the overall picture. And it's really about figuring out and supporting whomever we have around us. When we're looking for that kind of support, we need to be very clear and very plain. This is what I'm looking for, right? So, we're all connected, but it's not necessarily having the same experience as somebody else does. So it's kind of like, does the foot care that a skunk just went by? What the hell? That's kind of interesting. Unless the rain, unless it says it says run. I mean, the foot's not going to care. So just the idea of when we're in a situation, we have something that needs to be worked out, that someone is not clear. Don't be offended. If they offer something, they are trying to be kind. And it's just about problem resolution, and it's avoid giving advice. Asking, they may just, like I said, they might just be putting this out there just to say something, just to get it off their chest. It's like, wow, what an experience. I don't tell you, is there a reason you told me this? That's kind of offensive. So no, I would be more like, what an experience. Is there anything that you need help with? Or is there something, or just kind of relate that? And affirm that was that their feeling going through this experience, because we might be totally off put, off base of what they're going through. But when someone outside, we need to find our own solutions, and so do other people when they're telling us things. Unless they say something to you like, what do you think? And you still have to be very, very careful, because we're putting ideas into somebody else's head. We're doing it through our theories, our biases, definitely implicit. Make sure that it's really what they want. And if you don't know, ask, well, what do you want? What are you looking to get out of you giving me this scenario, or this issue, problem, hurdle, challenge? Have a mindset of motivational interviewing. And get books on it. Just simple stuff. Just read up on it. There's all kinds of stuff out there about motivational interviewing, and it's good with conversation. It helps enrich your understanding of where somebody else is coming from. So I guess maybe we we can do a reading on how we can facilitate our own communication skills, and what communication is going to really do for us, in that respect, because I think things are going to get really sticky if we're not being clear. I'm going to switch the camera over to my board. I have no idea what things look like. Yeah, it's kind of helter skelter here, isn't it? Because I had to move things around. I got a lot of stuff going on. Things are just kind of happening. So let me scooch around over here. Let's see how that goes. Hopefully the sound is still okay. But we're always going to look at the information here that is always accepted with gratitude, because it's revealed to us for our highest good. It comes from the original source and the original thought and the original word, where we are receiving clear communications and information aided by all energies that are benevolent to us. This is always helpful. Things sometimes are withheld, but really it's for the greater good, for lack of a better way of putting it. A lot of people don't really think of things that way. So here we have the magician. This is not about 2 weeks past and future. I may or may not have time to do sign readings. I'm going to actually pull whatever's coming out here, because that is like a big lump of cards. I've done a lot of shuffling and handling, and that's why the board is kind of helter-skelter maybe a little bit. But so this magician, he's got all the tools. Sometimes he can be a little stingy and not. He can be a trickster. And I think we need to be careful of the magic that we have within us, because that's something, we're going to have some balance with our intuitive abilities. I think this is about intuition, balance, truth, and trust. We have to have truth and trust within ourselves before we're going to be able to trust somebody else. So if you don't trust yourself, you might start projecting that sort of lack of trust towards other people. Say, I don't trust you. It's not about you. It's because they don't trust. Trust has come up a lot in the things that, oh gosh, yep. Sometimes they're going to turn a blind eye to it. Right. And that's us too. So it's, again, goes back to what Stone and I had talked about was, ours, theirs, and mine, yours, theirs, and mine, sort of a thing. We have to have that level of discernment within ourselves, and sometimes we turn a blind eye to it because we don't want to deal with it. We are a little too overthinking on the balance of things. Man, is this not traditional? It's going to cause some thoughts and words and skirmishes, and a lot of times, this is Seven of Swords, sorry. Seven of Swords. This guy, to me, he's got in the other deck, his swords are like helter skelter. Dude's got a lot of control over what he's got going on. So this is like a control thing. We have to regain control of our thoughts, and manifestations are going to come from these. Manifestations are ramping up with our thoughts. So having some consistency with those thoughts and words, that's going to really bring us into a more temperate we're always going to have this, to our life, and there's nothing wrong with that. And here comes the communication, and it's a new communication. I don't know who this is. It's the Page of Wands, but it feels kind of hot. I don't know what that means, but that's what that is. This is like a really hot, youthful. Hmm. I need some clarity on that, please, because this is like different. This is feeling a lot different, but and we might get hot under the collar. We might get a little perturbed, and that's where we're going to have to kind of manage, stay organized in our heads. And this is not necessarily bad, but we don't want to stay closed off. Excuse me. It's a protection thing too. I feel like it's okay. And it's like being transparent, but not all the way, only exposing or revealing or sharing. That's good balance. And you're going to be able to share. This is all we are all going to be able to share some things with some people and not so much with others. I guess it's about this balance and remaining safe. Really, things are going to get hot and heavy. We're going to have to stay level-headed, organized. This is a good holiday weekend that I'm doing this on, so we're going to definitely have to try and take that time. Yeah. Here's a star. Wow. Look what came out with a star. That's like power packed. That's power packed. There's got to be a way, because both of these are covering both of these. These are together, not one is over the other, but it is just for semantics, maybe something like that. This is really powerful. For some reason, this feels very, I could really feel this deep. So it's going to be important to have the right amount of protection, balance, and realizing that we are able to manifest and make things happen, but it is going to be with our thoughts and words. Some of these thoughts and words are, like I said, that's pretty hot and heavy. Can we get some clarity on what this hot and heavy is related to, please? Yeah. Hot and heavy. What is the hot and heavy related to? And of course, this is general. Look who turned up on the bottom. Ah, ha, 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 magician. Sorry, I have to crane my head around to make sure that I wish it had so that every time somebody put in a comment that it made a noise, but it doesn't. Oh, I have to have it on silent so I don't hear myself making noise and talking, whatever. Also, I just noticed there's the tower. So let's find out what this hot and heavy, very strong star. There's vulnerability with a star a lot of times, but I don't feel that. This is a high achievement. This is a very commanded, loving. I don't know. Is it a situation? We need some clarity on what this is, because it's related. Oh my God. This is a wish fulfillment. This is a 3D thing. This is a 3D thing. What's going on here is a 3D thing. So it's the star. This is what this to me says. All this combination is whatever is your heart's desire is manifested. Be very careful of those thoughts and words, because we are in such a very strong time of manifestation. And it's a victory. Yeah, and it's a lot of really hot, passionate. Oh my God. Communication. And wow. Expect it or do it yourself. Whatever is your situation. that you are finding you're motivated to participate in. Always maintaining the foundation of balance, keeping yourself safe. I mean, you don't want to be blindsided by anything either. All right, so we can get some clarifiers on just the overall picture. That's been good too. And this weekend, I think it's just the manifestation is so super strong. We've had that, what was it, the dark moon and some eclipses, not eclipses, but I think we got at least one coming up in September. But there's a lot of really powerful stuff going on, but communication is going to be absolutely freaking. We gotta slow down with the communication, not necessarily the communication itself, but slow down and think before we put it out there, because I think there's going to be a lot out there about communication. You know, this is the hot and passionate, but this feels like it's very targeted towards whatever is passion in your life. And this is something that's going on about manifestation. There's communication here, but this is like a victory. It's supported by the universe, whatever this is, like big time, wish fulfillment, heartfelt, cosmic. Like, this is not vulnerability. This is stability. Something is coming, holding back. Something is coming in. There has been some, don't be indecisive. Don't procrastinate. This is like really important because we need to get off our bupkis and make the decisions that need to be made. We need to cut the cords from the past, not even cut the cords. I don't even like that. Let's untie them. Let's get some resolution. Make the decision, get off your bupkis and just do it. I've got a couple of things here that I got going on that things are going to happen. So this is something that is, we're going to get affirmations for. This is a visiting you, spirit world, receiving downloads, confirmation. That may be yours, but these are your dreams coming true. And the only way that's going to happen is if we get off our mental backside and make the decision, but it's also taking action. Right. And it's going to be a confirmation. There's some sort of confirmation. Can we get some kind of clarity on what that affirmation might be? I feel like that's that last word, confirmation. If you get confirmations. Yeah, this is like hot stuff here, man. I'm just saying that I just saw like a cosmic egg thing, right? That looks like fun. Here and now, make the decisions here and now. You know, some reels are really kind of odd that they pop up on like my Facebook and YouTube stuff that, you know, I do like watching and getting that, you know, in the moment view of, because I have a friend of mine who does competitive bike racing, but he keeps it on the flat. And we were talking about some of the crazy stuff that people do, like riding at night or doing on these really crazy trails. And I was worried about him. I was like, "You're not doing that stuff, are you?" I was like, "No." But he's, you know, that was like in the here and now, you know, he's taking action on that stuff. And I think that that's kind of like this cosmic egg thing that we have going on, maybe that we need to take advantage of this cosmic egg that it's cracked open. These doors are open. The shutters are open. It looks like a window. It's in, you know, it's in the here and now. We can't worry about the past. There's also that future. We don't want to live in the future. Yeah, we do have plans, but excuse me. Milk and honey, that's what we got. When we make the decisions, we stop procrastinating and we are getting the affirmations. So the affirmation is something about staying grounded. So the word feather popped into my head. I know feathers have been pretty prevalent in people's lives. I know I was gifted a feather, but it's the milk and honey that we have available to us that we, you know, that little elephant, it's in that milk and swimming in the honey and all that other kind of stuff. That's here. That's the here and now. That's the clarity. Sometimes we have to bust out the window. So if we don't have the door, let's crawl through the window. Yep, building blocks. We've already got the foundation. And if you see any issues in your foundation, this is where we need to, and again, the foundation is stop procrastinating and get on it. Get the confirmations. You might have something to do that is an affirmation with blocks, building blocks. I know finding that Lego on the floor is like the worst freaking thing ever. And we can't, I like this card. Some of us like to play it safe, but I think a lot of times that can cause us to hold back, and there needs to be some risk taking. Not foolish risks, but there definitely needs to be some risk taking. I'm starting to lose my voice. I didn't have time to get my water or anything. So, right. So please do like, share, and subscribe. Leave me a comment. That's like so much fun. If you have any questions, you can go to my website and leave a well, it's not going to leave a comment there, but I'll get an email. It sends me emails and I can respond directly from there. I've gotten, requests for my coaching services. By the way, I don't think I've identified that. I typically only work with adults, but if somebody has like a 16-year-old and up, that's okay too. So let's see what else. Consciousness. So the frequency of consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on all the multidimensional aspects that show up so that we can include them in our reality. Including things in our reality. So this is about taking those decisions, arresting those thoughts and words. If we have to jump out the window of the cosmic egg, this is our wish fulfillment, right? And this is all of this is about the overall consciousness, awareness, and acting on it. Realization. Don't know why I typically don't do that, but the frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth. Heart-centered truth. Make the decision. As well as an external process of becoming our highest expression in this world. That is taking these thoughts and taking the action on them, having those building blocks, taking the dreams, getting the affirmations, and what was the other thing? It was like connecting the dots. There was something change. The frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and birth the new. Here's the egg. I've been getting the Empress a lot too, where she's pregnant, and let's keep in mind that, wow, it can be messy. Don't look for perfection. Because I've been getting that a lot also, where sometimes that's me fuss and bother and it's not perfect, so I end up stalling it and then I have a problem moving forward. That ends for me today. This is my dreams are manifesting. That's all I'm going to say. Everybody has this ability, everybody has this talent. I think that was it. We're just gonna to leave it. Yeah, leave the mental plane. Absolutely 100%. I totally, I know perfection is the enemy, right? Perfection is definitely the enemy at this point. Let me switch the camera over. I gotta get over and flip the windows and see what I can handle here. All right. If nobody has any, you're welcome. If anybody has any questions, concerns, go ahead and reach out. I am personally quite private with things that I talk to people about, and I'll either send a text to their phone. This is something that we definitely kind of have to work through with each other on. This is not a quick fix, but things will happen quickly once we start into accepting and embodying the things that we want to manifest. I mean, that's a whole other gig. That gets into like my whole coaching thing, which I do have someone booked at 1 o'clock. And so I'm sorry. I actually recorded something earlier this week to post today, and I decided no, there's something else that needs to come through. I don't even know if half the stuff I don't even post because I don't think it's appropriate for public consumption. Not even on Rumble, but it gets pretty deep. Might be some private sessions in there for people that, so. All right. So again, I hope y'all have the opportunity to like, share, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and the, what do you call it, the notifications button, because I think things are going to start switching up for me. I don't know how many lives I'm going to be able to do. Again, health scare for me, and I just got to keep it on the straight and narrow at this point. And I hope everybody has an absolutely fantastic holiday weekend as I look out my window and I see one of those streaky airplanes going by, if you catch my drift.